There is propaganda in the curly hair community right now, and I, for one, am not falling for it. There are lies, there are stereotypes, there are misconceptions that are keeping us stuck, and I want us to be able to break free together. Hi everyone, it's Lana here. Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. I'm so happy to be sitting here talking to you today. I have a topic that I just feel is going to be so juicy, and I just really have so much to get off my chest about it. This is, of course, propaganda that I am not falling for. If you're ready and I'm ready, let's get into it. And let's just get one thing straight. I feel like I need to put a disclaimer out there. I am very aware that propaganda can relate to very serious issues, of which I'm not going to be speaking about in this video. This whole kind of video idea comes from a TikTok trend. It's the propaganda I'm not falling for trend, and people put their own spin on it when it relates to fashion, beauty, sports, TV and film, anything they want, and it's intended to be lighthearted and a bit of fun. If you would like to gain some perspective on my thoughts on some more serious issues, then I would recommend following me over on Instagram, because I'm more likely to speak about those things in my stories. I do have pretty strong opinions, and that's probably where I'll be talking about those more serious topics. This video is intended to be lighthearted and fun, and I hope that we can all enjoy. The first piece of curly hair propaganda that I will not be falling for is no shampoo. Not even a sulfate-free shampoo, not even a co-wash, because co-wash products, specifically co-wash products, tend to have a little bit of very mild, gentle cleansing agent in them. But if you're just washing your hair and you're not using a co-wash product, and you're actually using maybe a conditioner that's just a straight up conditioner, and you have not used any cleansing agent in your hair, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why is that a thing that we started doing? I actually just watched one of my really old videos where I was going on and on about sulfate-free shampoos. I don't do that anymore. Times have changed, I've learned a lot about curly hair over the years. I wouldn't use a sulfate shampoo every day, but to me, I've just learned that the build-up can be so damaging beyond what you can even imagine. Scalp build-up can actually ruin your hair. It is ruining the environment for hair growth if you're not cleansing your scalp properly. If you've got hard water build-up, product build-up, and pollution build-up on your hair, that's preventing moisture from getting in. That's preventing any kind of nourishment getting into your hair. It's literally suffocating your hair. You've got to have some kind of cleansing agent in your hair wash, otherwise it's not a wash. You need something in there to break down all of the buildup and break down all of the muck, and water doesn't do that by itself. I'm not falling for that one. I'm not falling for that one. I think it comes from the idea that sulfates are bad, so let's just not use sulfates. Sulfates are drying, and then it's kind of evolved into this no shampoo. That one's not for me. Anyway, next, the second piece of curly hair propaganda that I will not be falling for is finger coiling every single strand of hair on your head. No, I'm not doing it. You can't make me do it. You cannot. I have seen this so much on TikTok. It seems to be a huge trend, and I feel like the girls who do it, I feel like they know that they're doing it for video. Surely they're not doing it all the time, and they want their hair to look perfect in the video, and I totally understand that. I totally get it. But the trouble is, people watching it and not knowing that, and thinking that it's the norm to have perfect curls all the time, and thinking that the best way to do that is by finger coiling it all. We're not gonna fall for that. That is straight up propaganda. That is straight up mythology. For one, it takes way too long. Two, it's not necessary. You don't need to have curls that literally look like they've come off of a porcelain doll. Three, you're gonna wash it out soon. Nothing's permanent, so why are you wasting all of that time? You've got more important things to do. Go and walk the dog, cook a nice meal. Why are you spending all of that time finger coiling every strand? There's even brushes that can do it. I bought a brush on TikTok shop the other day, and it's got the little grooves on it, and that does a great job at defining all of your curls, and it's so much quicker. And even that, I would say you don't really need to do it. I'm not interested in my curls being super defined. I have to say that causes more tangles, like more definition, more tangles. But if I just kind of stretch out my curls and just have it looking a little bit looser, maybe it's gonna look a bit frizzier, a little bit less defined. I don't get tangles though. I can go all the way to wash day and I don't have to spend an hour detangling my hair. So I'm not gonna fall for that propaganda. You can't make me. I'm unfortunately probably a peddler of that propaganda. Maybe a couple of years ago when I used to do my hair really defined, I kind of now have to like wind that back in, and I'm really trying to tell people, you don't have to do that. Don't fall for that propaganda, okay? Okay, so the third piece of curly hair propaganda that I will not be falling for is that puffy curls, poofy curls are somehow unacceptable. And this kind of relates back to the last point that we had to finger coil and get ultra definition. No, we don't. And your puffy, frizzy, brushed out curls are beautiful. Let me say that again. Brushed out curls are beautiful. I feel like no one ever says that. I feel like it's been so drilled into our minds as curly girls, don't brush your hair. And we're all there making jokes like, there was one years ago and it was like, oh, brush your hair. And it was like, oh, what now, Stephanie? Or what now, Melanie? Or something. And it was like, you just show your hair all brushed out. And then that's a bad thing. Like, that's supposed to be like, oh, but what they don't know is it's gonna make our hair frizzy. And I definitely believed that for a long time. Even now, I have reservations against brushing my hair out and going out with that. But I feel like times are changing and I feel like people are sort of reclaiming that, and I feel like people are just taking up space now with their curly hair and allowing themselves to brush their curly hair and not try and minimize it and define it and compact it. Like, people are really playing with those styles. And I actually did make a video a few years back with brushed out curly hairstyles, which I feel like is getting more traction now. Like, people are actually finding that video again and really enjoying it. I'm so glad that I made it. There are different ways to manage frizz other than just stamping it down. Just make sure it's hydrated, really lean into your natural texture. If it's a little bit frizzy, so what? Just do you. Number 4, propaganda that I'm not falling for is slick backs every day. There's always been some version of a sleek bun, sleek ponytail. It's only been in the past 2 or 3 years, I think. There's been a lot of products coming out, like the wax things. My issue with it is that it's so policed. You can't just do a sleek hairstyle how you want to do a sleek hairstyle. There's rules on it. You have to have it looking a certain way. And when I go outside, unfortunately, I'm seeing so many people with the exact same hairstyle and it's all been done the exact same way. And honestly, people are starting to look like clones of each other. And I don't want to judge anybody individually because I know it's not any one person that's doing this. And I know how hard it is, like pressure to fit in. And sometimes you don't even realize that there's pressure. Sometimes it's just something becomes so huge. Sometimes things just become the norm and you can't escape from it. That's just how you do your hair. But I just want to remind people that it's not, and there are other ways. Because the thing is, sleek backs can be damaging, and if you're doing it every day, which is the propaganda that I'm talking about here, like if you're doing it every day, it becomes damaging. You can end up with traction alopecia, which is literally where you're pulling your hair out of your scalp because you're pulling your hair so tight and you start seeing a receding hairline. Some people have it around the sides, and a lot of people doing the slick backs are doing it with, well, I guess with like the slick back I'm talking about is always with the middle part. So you're seeing it with the middle part here, and people are getting big partings, like wide partings, just which is purely actually just the hair is falling out of the parting, which is crazy. It's so crazy. So I do love a slick back. I do. I love doing it. I do think it looks very nice, but at the same time, I have made a strong effort to show different low tension, low manipulation hairstyles on my pages because I just know them to be healthier and safer for your hair, and that's ultimately what I want for you. Propaganda number 5 that I'm not going to be falling for is that diffusing is damaging. You cannot make me put down the hairdryer. I will not put it down. You will have to pry my hairdryer out of my cold, dead hands before I stop diffusing my hair. That's such a horrible thing to say. I love diffusing my hair, and I genuinely think that it's better for my hair than if I just let it air dry. Leaving your hair wet for too long can be damaging. If you have very long, very thick hair, it's going to take a very long time to dry, especially when you have products on it like a leave-in conditioner and an oil, which actually help lock the moisture in. You're going to be waiting a very long time for your hair to dry, especially in the winter here in the UK, and sometimes in the summertime too. Leaving your hair wet for that long can lead to hydral fatigue, it can lead to fungus, scalp issues, damaged strands. So why would I risk that for my hair when the diffuser is right there? And I know the argument against diffusing is that it's heat, it's manipulation. My diffuser has 4 different heat settings and I always diffuse on the lowest. Sometimes I diffuse on the medium setting, but even still, I have a diffuser on it. It's a big disc dispersing the heat, nothing too intense. You can literally put it on your arm, you don't feel a thing. I don't think it's damaging to my hair. If I was really worried that my diffuser was going to damage my hair, I'd be using heat protecting products as well. And to me, it's so much better for my hair than to leave it sitting there wet. And it not only protects my hair, but it also protects my quality of life. I remember the days before I used to use a diffuser. I remember waiting for my hair to dry all day long, and it was horrible. And if I had to do that, I would probably just cut my hair off. If there wasn't an option to have a diffuser, and if I couldn't dry my hair, I would actually just cut it all off. It wouldn't be worth it. It's actually so frustrating to have wet hair all day. I'm not doing it again. You can't make me. I'm not falling for the propaganda. I cannot be shamed on this. I love diffusing my hair, and that's it. This was the one that I think maybe got the most amount of comments, like reacting to this particular point, which was that curly hair is childish. When I posted this on Shorts, I think the comments were saying like, oh, she made that up, she's being attention seeking. No one ever says that. And yeah, I made a whole video about it because people were saying it, because it was all over TikTok, and there was, you know, there was debates happening talking about whether curly hair is childish or not, and a lot of people weighing in and a lot of people giving their opinions. A lot of people thought that I just made this up, like no one's ever said this before, but I've definitely experienced this, and I've had people say this to me even recently. People who don't understand the struggles of curly hair, and they don't understand the history and the social implications of having curly hair. Somebody even said, oh, what did he say? Something like,
oh, you give off a much mature vibe when you have your hair all straight.
Kind of underhandedly saying that curly hair looks more childish, more immature. It's propaganda that I'm not falling for. I am a grown woman. I'm a grown woman with my curly hair. We just need to see more representation of that. If you want a deeper dive into this, I'm gonna leave my full video up here. Like, I'm here as a grown woman with my curly hair, and hopefully I can show people that it's perfectly acceptable to continue to wear your natural hair into adulthood. And not only is it acceptable, but it's beautiful and it's elegant and it's sophisticated and it's professional. Absolutely not childish in any way. That is propaganda that I will not be falling for. I hope that you won't either. The next piece of propaganda that I will not be falling for is that you need to straighten your hair for formal occasions. Why are we doing that? Who's telling us to do that? I don't know. I guess maybe it comes from the last point about curly hair being childish. The idea that we need to fix our hair or polish it or prim it in some kind of way is pure propaganda. I saw a video on TikTok the other day, and it was a bride with her naturally curly hair. She did do a slick back. It was like a slick back, half up, half down. It was really stunning, right up my street. Loved it, saved the video, everything. I wonder if I can maybe put it here. And it made me realize that I hardly ever see brides with their naturally curly hair. A lot of the time you'll see somebody who has naturally curly hair, but then when it comes to their wedding day, they will tong their hair and they will give some assistance to their hair with heat, which is fair enough. But I just thought it was so stunning to see this bride with her naturally curly hair. It was just so beautiful, and it just made me realize that I hadn't really seen that, and that really kind of surprised me that I hadn't really seen it. And then it made me think that when I get married, I'd really like to have my naturally curly hair, because I realized that I had been thinking that I probably was going to do some heat curls, and I hadn't even realized that I was thinking that. The propaganda can sometimes be so strong that we don't even realize it seeping into our subconscious. That's what real propaganda does, you know. It really gets under your skin and it changes your mind without you even realizing that it did. So we actually just need to like rise above it and see it for what it is. I realized that I really can't do light-hearted topics. I get so serious on every topic. I know we're literally talking about curly hair, and I said at the start of this video that it was going to be light-hearted, but I can't help myself. I get a bit into things, I get a bit passionate. So sorry about that. So what I hope that you will take away from this video is that your hair is beautiful, it is stunning, and if you have any pieces of propaganda that you won't be falling for, please drop them in the comment section, because I'd love to read them. Hopefully we can try to keep this video quite light-hearted, and I would hope that we can try to keep the comment section quite light-hearted too. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please thumbs it up if you did. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and turn on your notifications if that's even still a thing here on YouTube. So I get so many comments from people telling me that they have not been notified of my recent videos, and I don't know what else to do other than to just ask you to turn on your notifications. Like, I don't know what else we can do. So hopefully we can fix that. It is a beautiful day outside, and I am feeling so energized after talking to you that I just want to get outside and enjoy the day. So I'm gonna go and do that. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.